Well, one of course, the lasting legacies of Patrick Hayes is his inclusion policy of ENO. Everybody in, nobody out. When I went to Ann Arbor, to the University Musical Society, which at the time was, I think, a 108-year-old organization, we found ourselves in a tower, an ivory tower, literally, Burton Memorial Tower. And it was so important for our organization to get out of that tower and into the communities of Southeast Michigan. And we kind of had a philosophy of, well, we go it alone. You know, our standards are so high. I mean, we bring in the Berlin Philharmonic, and Horowitz has played here 15 times. And should we really be working with the local organizations? What will they do to our standards? Well, of course, if you've been influenced by Patrick Hayes, it's everybody in, nobody out. You embrace the local organizations. And so we began to build relationships with the Michigan Theater and with the Ann Arbor Symphony and with Performance Network and the Carytown Concert House, these other organizations. And at the basis of all of that was this inclusion policy of Patrick. And getting out of the tower and into the communities meant not only other arts organizations, but it meant the communities of shared heritage. We hadn't had a relationship with those communities, and yet we needed to. Imagine the cultural expressions that each of those groups has that we just hadn't embraced. And so with lessons that I learned from Patrick about going into communities and being respectful and asking questions and being vulnerable and looking at how there can be reciprocity with everybody that you work with. These are lessons that not only UMS has learned, but any presenter that's been influenced by Patrick. For example, San Francisco Performances and Ruth Felt out there. She claims the same connection to Patrick, as did Jacqueline Davis when she was at the University of Kansas, the Lead Center there, where the Swarthout piano series and where Evelyn's father, I believe, had been on the faculty. Well, all of these connections go back to this wonderful man and his inclusion policy. And you think back where that came from in a highly segregated Washington, D.C., having somebody like Patrick, you know, have as his first board chair when you became a nonprofit organization, Todd Duncan, professor of voice at Howard University, the first Porgy and Porgy and Bess. What that meant when you see these two men together, the arts are going to be for everybody in this town. So, you know, that's such a powerful influence. And, you know, it's been the mantra and the inclusion policy of UMS now for over almost 30 years.